Hi, everybody. This is Dr. Lassane, and I wanted to do 2 or 3 short screencasts here to take you through the syllabus for your children's literature class with me this fall. The front page of the syllabus, as always, has all kinds of contact information for me. So here I am, Dr. Lassane. That's my office, AB4, room 423, mailing address. The office phone, that's the Sam Houston office phone, my voicemail, which goes directly into my office, and the best email addresses by which you can reach me. I do check my email several times during the day, so if you do have a question, know that I will get back to you just as soon as I can. I do regular office hours on Tuesdays between 8 and 2. And other times you can arrange, if you need to come in and see me, you can arrange to do so by appointment. For this first screencast, I'm going to kind of go through some of that stuff up there because you can read that on your own. And I want to point out the required books for the course. First, your textbook. Your textbook is an online text written by Dr. Perry and by me. It is free. And this is the link that will let you into the Google Docs so you can see it. There will be much more about the textbook in a later screencast, but know that the textbook is free. If you need to spend money, we would much rather prefer you spend money on the real books. In terms of required reading, there are books that we will all read in the class. They vary in terms of publication date. You're going to see some books here from the 70s, 80s, 90s, and right up to the last couple of years. They vary in genre, they vary in form and format, and we want you to read a variety of books together so that what you're reading in the textbook is really going to make sense. You're going to have some anchors there. So very quickly, I'll go through this list. You're going to read Kwame Alexander's The Crossover. That was the Newbery Award winner, Coretta Scott King Honor Book for 2015. It is a novel in verse. You're going to read Susan Campbell Bartoletti's Hitler Youth. That is a nonfiction book about Hitler and how he managed to bring youth into his Nazi organization. You're going to read any Nick Bishop book on animals or insects. I have here spiders, but you could just as easily read any of the books in that series. Those are nonfiction books. George Bragg's book, How They Croaked the Awful Ends of Awfully Famous, is also nonfiction. You're going to read Dear Mr. Henshaw by Beverly Cleary. Note the publication date, 1983. This is the first book that dealt with divorce in children's literature. You're going to read the Newbery Honor-winning Watsons Go to Birmingham, 1963 by Christopher Paul Curtis, historical fiction. You're going to read a picture book by Carmen Agredidi called Martina the Beautiful Cockroach. I hope you'll enjoy it a great deal. It's a Put a Belpré Award winner. You're going to read Tommy DePaulo's The Legend of the Bluebonnet. As long as I'm teaching this class, as long as the class is being taught in Texas, I think it's wonderful to read about the bluebonnet and the legend we have for why it grows each year. You'll read a novel, Sharon Draper's Out of My Mind, and Neil Gaiman's The Graveyard Book, which was a Newbery Award winner in 2009. Carmen Lomas Garza's Magic Windows is a nonfiction book in English and in Espanol about papel picado. Nikki Giovanni's Rosa is a picture book. It's a Coretta Scott King Award winner, and it looks at the life of Rosa Parks. Moving ahead a little bit here, you're going to look at Shannon Hale's Rapunzel's Revenge, which was on the Bluebonnet list quite a few years ago. One of the nonfiction books you're going to read is Roby Harris's It's So Amazing. It is basically a book about all things having to do with our bodies and our sexual development. You can read either book in the Comic Squad series edited by Jenny and Matt Holm. It is a collection of short, funny, graphic novels by people who are well known in the field. There's Comic Squad Recess and Comic Squad Lunch already available. You can read either one of those. You're going to look at one of Jeff Kinney's Diary of a Wimpy Kid books. Any in that series are fine. We are going to read John Klassen's This Is Not My Hat, Caldecott Award winner. He's got a new one coming out, which is already getting stellar reviews. Looking really forward to seeing it. It will complete his Hat trilogy. The novel, Skullduggery Pleasant by Derek Landry, is the story of a detective who is a skeleton. And it's got a lot of good humor. And to me, for kids who loved Harry Potter early on, this is possibly a series that they'll kind of pick up and read as well. Cynthia Lord's Rules was a Newbery winner from several years ago. Kadir Nelson's We Are the Ship is nonfiction about famous African Americans. Beautiful illustrations there. Kenneth Oppel's The Nest is one of our newest books, and it is a very shivery, dark, intense book. Just kind of giving you a heads up there. We will go back to 1972 and The Bridge to Terabithia by Catherine Patterson, because honestly, I don't think there's a better book out there that deals with family and friends and death and just so many diverse kinds of things. Good Masters, Sweet Ladies by Laura Amy Schlitz, who is a librarian, by the way, in addition to being an author, was the winner of the Newbery Award several years ago. Brian Selznick's The Invention of Hugo Cabret is the only Caldecott Award to ever be more than 32 pages long, and it's a great deal longer than 32 pages. We will go back to 1963 and read Where the Wild Things Are by Maurice Sendak. That's always going to be kind of the crown prince of children's books in my view. You'll be reading a poetry collection called Mirror, Mirror by Marilyn Singer. And then you'll look at Lane Smith's It's a Book, which is a 31-page book, which ends in a 32, with page 32 being the punchline of the joke that's been building. The nonfiction book, Balloons Over Broadway, is how Macy's parades came to be balloons, but originally started as puppets. That's by Melissa Sweet. It was a Caldecott honor book in 2012. David Wiesner's The Three Pigs, is one of dozens of different retellings of the story. I hope you will like this one. It does some things visually, I think, that are just outstanding. And finally, in terms of the books we will all read, Mo Willems' A Big Guy Took My Ball, or any of the Elephant and Piggy books. You'll be reading other books, but those are the ones that are required for now. So I hope this gives you just kind of a basic introduction. In the next screencast, we're going to look at the assignments for the course, and then finally a third screencast on the policies and procedures for the class.